Hey guys, happy Tuesday. So yesterday was Halloween. For those of you that celebrate Halloween, listen, I hope you had fun. If you don't have kids and it was you running around in that Sonic or Tails onesie, hey, more power to you. I'm not going to judge, right? But listen, I hope you had fun. Today's a new day. For most of you, it's like the first day of Christmas, right? But today I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about what the current situation is with the mortgage rates, what your perception is about them, and then also how it compares to buying a car, right? Now you may be wondering, why the hell is Peter talking about buying a car? He doesn't sell cars, he sells homes. But there's a reason for it, right? So let's look at a mortgage for actually no, I'm sorry, let's look at a car, for example. Right now, cars are, depending on the model you're looking for, they're kind of few and far between. They're hard to come in, pricing is up, interest rates are up, right? What about a mortgage? Right now, houses inventory is kind of low. The good houses fly off the market. A lot of people are not putting their house on the market. Rates are high. So it's a similar situation on the surface, right? Now let's break it down a little bit more. Most of you are complaining about paying, let's just say on average, 7% for a mortgage, right? And I say that because this week the Fed is going to raise the rates again, which more than likely is going to have a similar effect in the mortgage industry. That's just how it works, right? So let's agree to talk about a 7% average mortgage rate right now, interest rate. So most of you are going to complain about going to pay 7% for a mortgage. Granted, when you buy a house, that 7% equates to a much higher payment because you're financing a higher amount, right? But you're going to complain about that 7%. And you're going to grumble and you're going to say, you know what, I'm not going to buy a house this year, or I'm not going to sell my house because nobody's buying it because of the rates, whatever. But the same day, same week, most of you will go to a car dealership. You will find that car that you like, whatever it is, a Chevy Traverse, the Kia Telluride, a Honda Odyssey, a truck, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you're going to be told, hey, look, this is the price, this is the rate, this is your payments, take it or leave it, period. That's it. Now, let's break that down further. They're going to tell you it's about 7% because that's the going rate more or less right now for most car purchases. Obviously, there's some credit unions and some other programs that are kind of outliers, some a little higher, some a little lower, but let's just agree to 7%. And then you get told your payment's going to be $900 for the next 5 years. And you're going to complain and you're going to try like hell to get them to lower that purchase price because you know that if you lower the purchase price by about $1,000, it reduces your payment by about $20, right? That's pretty common, right? That's about what the average is. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on the rate, but you get where I'm going with this. So you're going to do that. And then after all the complaining, after being at the dealership for 5 freaking hours, you're going to say, fine. You're going to sign on that line when they agree to lower the price by $500, $1,000, and you get a $20, reduction in payment. So now you're paying $880, right, for a vehicle, and you're happy. And for the next 5 years, you're going to be paying that regardless. And in 5 years, you're going to go to the dealership and you're going to trade it in. Most people are not going to pay their vehicles off before they trade them in, which means that you're going to take that negative equity, you're going to put it on top of that new vehicle, and now you're overpaying for another vehicle, right? Negative equity. What is the difference between that and buying a house? When you buy a house, you have a generational asset. You have an asset that you can pass down to your kids, to your grandkids, an asset that you can actually put into a real estate portfolio and rent it out and then get monthly cash flow to actually go ahead and supplement your finances, right? You're essentially building a business at that point, right? So basically my point is that the house has a potential to either one, hold equity for the long term, two, help safeguard your investment during the time of inflation, which is what's going on right now, right? And three, you have an asset that's going to actually pay you if you choose for it to pay you, right? So let's say it comes time for you to, move up in the house, get a bigger house. You can rent that property out and it will pay you every month. And it has the equity or the investment you put into it, the money, it's holding it, right? It's there, right? With the car, is a complete opposite. It's a completely constant depreciating asset unless it's a collectible, a 1 of 500 made, like some rare collectible high-end car, right? Or some rare collectible older car. Most of you do not have that. You have those Honda Odysseys and you have the Pathfinders, the Nissan Pathfinders and the Titan trucks or whatever. Those vehicles are not that, right? So they're going to continuously depreciate and it doesn't pay you. And some of you are going to say, well, I use it to drive Uber and Lyft. Okay, fine. How much does it actually pay you once you take out the expenses for the added maintenance, the gas, and your time? That's a big part that people just don't take into consideration. Your time. Your time is the most valuable asset that you personally have, that you will never, ever get back, no matter what you do, how much money you have, who you pay. It's gone. So you don't take that into account. So let's compare these two assets. You have a generational asset that can be passed down through generations and can produce cash flow in a real estate portfolio. And then you have an asset that is depreciating, will not appreciate unless, again, it's one of those special category of vehicles that you're going to, carry over the negative equity after you trade it in, because that's what people do in 5 years. You trade it in because you have to have either one, the newest thing yet, two, all the fancy features, or three, you know what? It breaks down and I'm spending a lot of money on maintenance. I have to trade it in for a newer car so I won't pay all this money in maintenance, right? So what makes the most sense? The most sense is for you to participate in like a 2-1 buy down program for a mortgage, which allows you to drop your interest rate by 2% on year one. On year two, you drop it by 1%. And then on year three, you finally go back to that locked percentage of whatever that may be, 6.5%, 7%, whatever, right? And even then, they're predicting, experts, right? They're predicting that in the next year and a half to 2 years, rates are going to go back to normal. Now, what's normal? Normal today, as it should be, if you follow the historical data of the actual interest rates, should be between 3.5% and maybe 4.5%, 5%. Let's just say between 3.5% and 5%, right? Because the numbers that we saw last year are historical lows that are probably extremely unlikely to ever be seen again. Is it possible? Sure, everything's possible, but they're not the norm. And a lot of you are comparing this year's rates with last year's rates. And you're also, at that point, to that end, you're not buying homes, right? So you're staying in a rental. You are paying for a rental that you may or may not like. Some of you are not listing your homes because you don't want to buy, or you think that nobody's going to come buy my house because the interest rates are so high. And that's just not the case. There's plenty of people buying homes right now, especially the millennial generation, because right now they're the biggest generation right now in the workplace, but they're also the biggest generation that are currently buying homes. And the myth that millennials don't want to buy homes, it's a myth. Get it? Like, yes, a lot of them like apartments. Hell, I was in an apartment years and years ago. But as I grew older, what did I want? I wanted a damn garage. I wanted a workshop in my garage. I wanted a gym. I wanted a yard for my kids to run around in. I wanted peace, quiet, and privacy. That's what I wanted. And most people are going to eventually mature to where they want the same thing, right? And I'm not calling any millennials immature, especially if your needs and wants currently in life require you to rent, and that's fine. But my point is that there are buyers out there. And on top of that, there is a chance, a big opportunity for you to pay a lower rate today in preparation to refinance in the next year and a half, 2 years, to lower your rate further, and you have a generational asset. So I feel like you guys need to, a lot of you need to reprioritize how you look at things, because at the end of the day, buying a house today is not that different than buying a house 3, 4, 5 years ago. The rates are a little bit different, but they're not that much different. They're not that far off. You just have to stop comparing it to the rates of 2021. You cannot do that. Go back in history and tell me another time where rates were about that much in 2021, like the 2%, 2.5%. Tell me, go find it and show me. I am glad to look at that data. The fact is, you're not going to find it. So, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, listen, if you feel like I'm yelling at you, I'm sorry, but I kind of am in a way. But listen, go out there, do the research. If you have questions, comments, concerns about it, give me a call, shoot me a text. I got a great mortgage guy that I can connect you to answer and navigate all this, crap that we're freaking swimming in at the moment. Let's just call it what it is, right? But if you're thinking about buying a house, do yourself a favor and continue with that dream of buying a house. If you're looking to sell a house, do yourself a favor and sell the house before your area adjusts. Every market area is adjusting. Market areas are adjusting at different pace for different areas. I'll do a different video about that. It's kind of long already. But if you have any comments, questions, concerns, listen, give me a call, shoot me a text, and I'll be glad to help you out. All right? Don't hold back just because of what if. If we hold ourselves back on what ifs, we're never going to accomplish anything in life. All right? Peace. Talk soon. Bye.